getting back to Darjeeling, how's the childhood in Darjeeling? Because when we see the mountain, like it is a really hillside, right? But hillside, not hillside. There's a roads. So
Yeah.
like it's like a like 10-minute up road and the city and 10-minute up city. So how do you guys spend your childhood? Like you guys play around up and down, running here and there, and how does it? What kind of sports you guys play there?
Oh, it's a lot of physical because, of course, now everybody's so tuned to their mobile phones.
Yes.
But back in the day, as far as we are concerned, I think as a child, I had probably had the best time because I used to mingle around with other children in the village, and we used to play all kinds of sports, whether it was hide and seek. And you've been there, you've seen the tea bushes and all
Yes.
of those things. So we would play a lot in the mountains amongst the tea bushes. Hide and seek was one of the things that we all played together. Then there were a lot of the local sports, like in Nepali we call it pandunge and stuff like that.
I don't know what's pandunge.
It's like you have this ball and you break in the center, and then you have two teams, and then you keep hitting.
Really?
So yeah, we used to have the sport where you take those flat stones,
Yes.
pile it up in the center,
Okay.
and then you have two teams, and then we hit and we break it. Once we break it, then our job is to set it right. So while we are setting it right, the other person tries to hit you with the ball. So either is to dodge the ball. So the idea is to dodge the ball and set up the stuff. So if you can do it before all of your teammates get hit by the ball, then you win the game.
Oh my God,
so it
I
is a
never
very
heard of
local.
that
Yeah,
game.
it is a very local sport. The other thing that we played a lot as a young child is something known as chungi.
Yeah, chungi, I know.
So it used to be made out of feather
Yes.
or rubber band.
Rubber band we did. I think the feather one is very popular in Hong Kong.
Yeah. So the feather one, I saw a lot of Jackie Chan movies.
Yeah.
But the feather one was difficult to make, so we used to make something similar with rubber band, and it used to be an anytime sport. So anytime you're free, you have another friend, you play chungi, right? And you used to, if you have more people, then you used to do two teams, and it was great. These kind of sports, very innovative sports.
Innovative sports,
Yeah.
and also include I mean the stone game you mentioned. I don't know what's that.
Pandunge.
It needs teamwork also, right?
Yes, yes.
Chungi is more individual game.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
teamwork games, actually, I personally think when in childhood they really need those kind of games. Like get along with them, each other, and kind of have a little bit of competitor mindset. And you mentioned you stay in boarding school there, but you're literally, you said 3 or 2 kilometers down from your school.
Yes.
So what required you to stay in school?
So I think my dad always wanted me to, as in all three siblings, to go
Yeah.
to a boarding school because it is a very old school. So I think now we are in the 145th year, so which means almost 1.5 century year old school.
That school?
Yeah, that
What's the
we went
school
to.
name?
It's called Victoria. It is named
Victoria.
after Queen Victoria. I think it is the second oldest school in the district of Darjeeling, established in 1879. Okay, and so my dad always had this ambition. He used to tell us that as a young child, they were not privileged enough to go to a school like that.
Yeah.
But they would hang around in the boundary of the school and always wanted to see what the other children did in the school because there were a lot of Britishers studying in the school in the olden days.
Yeah.
And he always had it in his mind that one day when I have my children, I would want them to study in this school. And that was the reason why we were sent to that school. As in, he really worked hard to put us or get us admission into that school and be there in the boarding along with the rest of the students. So one of the key reasons was him. But later on, once we got into the boarding, I think we enjoyed the boarding life better than being a day scholar life.
So boarding, I mean, put it in a perspective. So boarding in especially in Darjeeling Garden, because in Nepal, boarding means the English-speaking school. You don't have to stay there.
Yes.
Hostels, we said.
Yeah.
So you study there, you live there. But here, you mean boarding means you study there.
Yes.
And you also sleep there and stay
Exactly.
there, right?
So it's a boarding residential school.
Yeah.
So it was quite isolated. So it's not in the town. So you went to this town called Krishyong. So from the main town, I think it's about 5 kilometers uphill drive. So it's amongst the midst of the pine wood trees, right? So it's a very isolated area, nice, quiet and peaceful. And it has great facility. So we had a playground where we could run a 200-meter flat race in the midst of the mountains, right? You have this school flat where you
Yeah,
could do
this is-
a flat race of 200 meters, which means the stretch of the flat was 200 meters. It didn't have a very good breadth, but it had a nice long stretch.
Yeah.
So all of these facilities were great, and the fact that we had people from all walks of life. We had a lot of students who came from, even from Nepal. A lot of
Yeah.
students from Nepal came and studied. I have a lot of friends from different parts of Nepal who were my batchmates. Then we had a lot of students coming from
Do you
Calcutta.
still talk to them?
Oh yes, yes, even now.
Okay.
So quite a few students, a lot of our friends were from Calcutta. There were quite a few students from Bihar as well. So it was a good mix of people from different walks of life, from different cultures. And the good thing about boarding school is we're all equal,
Yeah.
right? And I think that was the best part. And lastly, the bonding. Even now, like I have a lot of my friends in the US.
Yes.
Settled there, quite a few. As in, I have another friend from Nepal who is now in Australia. But when we meet, we start from where we left. So
like,
we forget who we are today.
yeah.
We just connect the way we used to connect as a child. That's the beauty.